Hello, my name is Nina Castro, and I work with Concordia Lutheran Child Care. And I've been at the child care for 17 years. I've been in early childhood learning development for about 20 years, working with children as young as 6 weeks, infants, all the way to adolescents. I'm very thankful and grateful that I have this opportunity to help teach and to help grow in education. I've been working in Concordia in our student-motivated learning environment called our Learning Zone. It fosters a specially designed learning area with materials fit for ages 2 to years with their development in cognitive, emotional, social, and physical skills. Within this nurturing environment, we lead the children into accepting trial and error, helping each child reach milestones, as well as letting them see and know it's okay to make a mistake and that we can always ask for help. One of our main sayings we like to implement every day with each child is that we try our best until we can get the task done. Everyone learns at their own pace in our student-motivated learning zone, always creating opportunities for independence, accountability, and community. This way, they will establish individual learning goals to reach age-appropriate milestones. Through our program, children develop a sense of confidence and ability to do their activity, to learn from it, communicate, to share with their peers and their teachers their progress, ideas, and accomplishments. It's a joy to see as children go through the program and grow from being quiet, shy, and non-communicative to being a very expressive and confident child. With the collaboration of their teachers and our Learning Zone program, we work hand in hand to help each child reach each academic skill to help prepare them for the next stage in learning. 3 days out of the week for 30 minutes, children come out to the Learning Zone room to use these basic learning principles that are drawn on the natural development of the child. We encourage the children to move about freely, to respond to their natural drive to work and learn at the same time. The love of learning is encouraged by giving the opportunity to engage in these meaningful activities under the guidance of the Learning Zone teacher. Through their work, during this time, we see a growing development in concentration, motivation, persistence, and discipline. Through the guidance and observation, the child will discover and learn on their own, which promotes this self-confidence and discipline. Individual work is encouraged, as well as some group learning activities that are included in each of our sections. In our student-motivated learning zone, the teacher will help instruct the children in how to work each activity following a 3-step process from start to end. Our program, as I said before, is made up of 6 sections: practical life, language, sensorial, mathematics, science and cultural, and creative arts. In each of our sections, each child is taught a 3-step process with every activity in all 6 sections, beginning with correctly getting each activity with 2 hands on each side of the tray or the item that it may be while walking to their place of sitting for that day, making sure every material needed is with them once they begin their activity as they have been seated. Due to COVID, we have had cut our time from 45 minutes to 30 minutes to leave time in between classes to clean items used from the previous class, and then it is returned to its rightful place again. Each child now has their own supply box, their little mini supply box, with their crayons, pencil, color pencil, markers, scissors, and glue. Children have their designated area for their supplies as they come in from their classroom into the learning zone classroom. They are shown to be responsible for getting and returning their box to use with the correct activity, then return it back to the supply box designated shelf when not doing an activity that requires the supplies box for the activity. Their second step in our 3-step process consists of correctly following the process of the activity from beginning to end. How to do it, which way to do it, etc. When our 2-year-old toddlers come out, it's a different process. We don't bring the whole class out as we do with the other classrooms. Our 3-year-old to 5-year-olds all come out together. But with our 2-year-old class, I bring them out 3 at a time to begin their process of learning the activities. From there, when the first group of 3 has successfully learned practical life activities and some sensorial activities, which is usually a two-week process, then we bring out another group of 3 to begin the process of learning, and I show them the practical life and sensorial, and then we continue that same sequence. As each group proceeds, each week the children are taught something new in each section until all children of the toddler room have successfully been taught activities for them to do on their own. Each class has a higher sense of learning as they graduate into their new classes. So this is part of the process of learning the 3-step process. Our third part of the 3-step process is to make sure every part of the activity is intact, on the tray, neat, and that it is cleaned off before returning it to the shelf. A lot of the times children help each other out. If there is a spill, they usually want to help each other out. But one of the things we do implement is to ask first. Children may experience something breaking through the process of doing their work. Here is where the children are redirected to carefully do the activity, correcting their steps from start to end once again. They may have done incorrectly, and having them see what they need to do better for the next time, or if one of the items broke or came loose, we assure the child that it's okay and that we can replace the item with another one. Wear and tear, usually with most of the items, it will happen with many of the items that are in each of these activities. So I always let them know, don't worry if the rubber band broke. Don't worry if one of the beads goes missing. I can always get another one because sometimes they do go missing or they break. If help is needed to clean the activity, children know it is always okay to ask for help. If they cannot clean up the activity themselves, showing each process of cleaning to the child helps them see, and later, as the child grows confident, they initiate in helping to clean activities on their own. Always asking first if they can help a friend. Children then must always push their chair in and return activity to its rightful place so that the next friend can work with the activity as well. Through this 3-step process, children often help their peers remember if something is forgotten. We remind children that helping one another in a kind way is a sign of helping keep their environment safe, with every activity intact, clean, and in its place so that it is ready for the next person, for the next child to use, and for the next class as well. A lot of the times, again, we ask the children to ask their friend, do you want me to help you? A lot of the times we let their friends know, you forgot to do this. We always tell them by name, So you're being kind, so that when the child is helping, or for when the child is receiving the help, they know it's just to better the environment. If somebody says you forgot to push your chair in, we ask the child not to get upset, and just to push the chair in, so that they know they don't want anybody tripping as they're carrying their tray, because sometimes they stumble. So this is kind of something that we press on to let them help each other out for the better of the environment. One of our biggest concepts is having the child problem solve. We guide teachers into letting each child learn cause and effect while observing and monitoring in the class. This way, the child develops their steps, process, and techniques in working each activity, making a reminder that it is always good to ask for help first instead of doing the work for them. A lot of times we like to initiate the help and just do it for them to hurry up the process. If the child says yes, we give the child the help. If the child says no, we let the child use their own steps, process, and techniques they have developed, helping the child explore passionately and embrace this learning multisensory area. If in our program, the child is encouraged to let their friends explore activities in their own way and on their own pace. We encourage their teachers, when assisting the child, to ask open-ended questions, because sometimes a lot of us are teachers. This is something that I used to do, but working here with the Learning Zone program, I learned that it is good to ask those open-ended questions instead. A lot of the times, no, you should do it this way. No, this is how it goes. But if we ask these open-ended questions, such as, where do you think it should go? What color do you think it should be? How do you want it to be? Encouraging the child to create their activity or art as best they can using their imagination. Helping guide the child to see and know where each part can go is key, but the questions to help the child see and know the right placement of each part. In other words, where do you think it should go? Or where does a hand go? Where does an eye go? Or where does a hat go? But letting them place it themselves. It may not be in the exact area, but it's placed in the general area that the hat or the arm should go. Our 6 sections that we have in our Learning Zone, our creative arts area has 8 different cutting stages, starting with a simple cutting activity to a more controlled guided cutting. It has gluing, stamping shapes into paper. An example, small little stampers of a heart or a butterfly or a cross into a small 3x3 construction paper square, and then placing their work into an envelope that is provided for them, putting their name on it and putting it on the shelf that all the kids' work goes in, so that they know that goes back to their classroom and it is put in their cubby. So at the end of the day, they take home and they can show off their work to their parents or whomever they would love to show their work to. We do sewing with yarn and a kid-friendly easel, crayoning with easel board, friendly plastic needle, creating a postcard, easel and crayoning, punch shaping, dough making and painting, and free draw. Each activity is shown step by step to each child. The child then chooses which activity from the creative arts section to take to their place of work and go through their 3-step process. Another section of our 6 sections in our Learning Zone is our practical life area that consists of helping the children learn their tripod grip and doing their work from left to right, preparing them for reading and transitioning into our language section. In our practical life section, activities such as spooning things, we have spooning beans, spooning corn kernels, spooning puff balls, spooning small little wiggly balls, and all of these are changed out every month. Dry pouring, same thing, dry pouring such as corn kernels, beans. They pour these little things, items into two different little cups. Tonging beads, tonging puff balls, tonging bells, and a lot of the times we have a little froggy, which on the opposite side has little suction cups, those little non-slip suction things that we put on the bath so that they don't slip. We use those, we turn them over, and they use little suction cups to put their little bells on, or little puff balls, as well as with beads. We do those as well. We have wide tongs, and then we have real narrow tongs that kind of switches off with their grip, and it helps them kind of develop a better grip as they go through each different process. All these help develop their motor skills as they play and learn. Practical life activities also include carrying a chair properly and sitting correctly in their chair. So they bring it out, know how to sit down. Sometimes some of the kids like to put their feet in first, and this is where we teach them, put your bottom in first, hold your chair, and then slide it in. Because a lot of times they don't like sitting properly back to back. They sit at the edge of the chair, and many of us know that. Also, funnel sand. Funnel sand, we like to switch out the colors according to the curriculum for the month. Waterworks, such as damp and drippy sponge. This is something that we did have to bring out because of COVID, because of the sponge. So that is something that we had to do without, kind of finding an alternative for that. But we do also have pouring colored water into 2 cups. 1 drop, using an eyedropper, one of those long ones with the little squeezy thing at the top, into another suction flower, the non-slip that we put on the bathtubs, turning it over, and they make a very colorful flower with their 1 dropper. Mixing 2 colors and making a color wheel mixing with using 6 different cups. Arranging flowers, zipper, snapping, buckling, lacing, and tying boards. Each activity helping develop their motor skills again. And a lot of these activities are changed out. We try to make it different. We'll take it out for one of the months and then switch it back in the following month, just so that they don't get bored. Then we have a third part of our 6 sections is our mathematics section of our learning zone. It brings activities such as a pegboard, geometric board with rubber bands, and this is a board with small little nails that they can make different shapes. They figure out triangle, square, rectangle, hexagon, octagons, pentagons. And it's a good 8x8 small little board. They do 1 to 5 number spindle, sandpaper numbers, 1 to 5 counting dinosaurs, 1 to 10 number rods, 1 to 5 making balloon book, 1 to 10 closing clothespin match, making an odd and even number book, fraction column puzzle. It's a really neat puzzle that they love to do. I think the challenging is to bring it back together. Counting owls, matching number cards. A lot of activities are do-it-yourself. So one of our activities has counting tops. So we have a snowman, and we put the different tops buttons, 1 to 5. A lot of our activities that we try to look for are found in different resources off the internet. Most consist of items already, in the classroom, or laminated printouts that we like to get out. And again, switching off every month, something different. One of the months that we like is right now during winter, we bring out mittens and they count the different buttons on mittens. We'll do a snowman. So everything kind of changes throughout the month. Our sensorial area has several activities in using of our 5 senses. We have a zither. It's a triangle shape with strings on it, and they have 4 different songs they get to pick from it. Mary Had a Little Lamb, London Bridge is Falling Out, and they switch off, and I show them how to follow the numbers. Most of the children follow, some of the children don't. Sound cylinders, smelling. Again, everything is switched out different every month, so I'll put out a couple of smelling items that they can smell and figure out and match them. Geometric solids, pink tower, brown stairs. Pink tower and brown stairs is a process with about 8 different blocks. The brown stairs is a cube, and brown stairs is a rectangle, and our pink tower is a cube, and each has 8 different blocks that they use, and they have to go from the shelf, start with the smallest one, bring it to the table, and do the process back and forward until they get the 8th block. And then once they have done the pink tower, they make their tower, stack it up, and then bring it down. So it's a process. So that is shown to them, and then they do the same thing with the brown stairs. So it's a 8-step process from shelf to table. We also have knobless cylinders in 4 different stacking stages: zoo animal, reptile, turtle, sea animal pairing. Sorting and matching box is a very popular one with those who like to sort and match things. Shape match, screwdriver, very popular with the boys and a lot of the girls. Open and close items, a lot of these also get switched out for the month. Flower patterns and owl patterns. And one of the things I like to switch out is I'll have owl patterns out first, and then I'll bring flower patterns out next in the next coming month. Then we have our language area. It has our pre-language activities, which consist of object shadows, patterns, matching box, perception board with a 2-part activity, magnet shapes, opposites, go-together puzzles, sea creature patterns. Children then can also do punch-a-shape, tracing, stenciling, rubbing, calendar making, following with an example given. I make one of the calendars first, color it according to the season, and then they trace numbers, the dotted numbers. So they learn their numbers, days of the week, and the month of the year. Matching letters to correct object sheets. These sheets are ABC. What object matches, what picture matches with the letter. Apple, cat, ball, and it has 2 different pictures that they have to match to the letter. And these are also always switched out, as well as writing the alphabet and matching the alphabet. They cut out the uppercase to the lowercase, and then they match the lowercase to the uppercase, so matching alphabet, using alphabet objects matching and pictures, rhyming words, sandpaper letters, and word building and sounding puzzle. So they will get the letters, put it in a designated area of the puzzle piece, puzzle board, be it a bus, be it a duck. So we work out every letter. What letter is this? What letter comes next? What letter is this? And then bus. So we help sound them out. Before we tell them what the word is, we have them sound it out. Then in our science cultural area, children learn to make different parts of the body book. An example, we have 2 different stages. One that is very simple: head, neck, torso, arms, and legs. So they create their book of, make it their own. They color each section that needs to be colored, and write down the word of the area that they are coloring. For instance, if it's the head, they color the head and write at the bottom, head. And then they go into the next section, different stage of the books, which would be the head and the different parts of the head. So they would have eyes, nose, mouth, ears, and head, and they write that down, color each part, and write what the word describing the part is. Then they go, they can also do a book of a leaf, different stages of the leaf, different parts of the leaf, a tree, the different parts of a tree, a flower, and a fish. Each of them, they create whatever color they choose. They write it, and they pick their front and their back covers, and write in the front, "My leaf book," and then they put "by," and they put their name. So it's a joy to be able to see how their faces get happy because they created their very own book. We also have land, water, and air. Animal match. This is in our science and cultural area. Animal match of non and living things that they get to sort out. A magnet wand with screws that they can mount on top. They can see the difference of what the magnet pulls together and without it, and how they do not pull together, and how they can fall apart without the magnet. Horseshoe magnet, assembling and disassembling a flashlight. And this is a very challenging one. This is your $3 flashlights from Walmart. Very easy to screw on and screw off. So they know to get the 2 batteries in, making sure that the positive is on top. The button, I call it the button. The button always has to be on top. They put it in carefully and slowly without just, throwing them in there, and then screwing it on. And the screwing on part is, pretty awesome to see because they have to, grow their motor skills. And then disassembling it. Of course, they figure out how to switch on and off, and then they have to disassemble it before they take it back. So disassembling is also a process to where don't just throw them out, put one by one in your hand, and put all the pieces on the tray, and then you take it back. Very popular activity. They like to disassemble and assemble the flashlight. Magnifying glass, gear sorting, and this is different shapes. You have 3 different shapes in gear forms, which is pretty neat. Insect match and insect magnifying bug match. In each of these activities, children are once again encouraged to share their experience as they do the activities. This is how I did it, and this is how it turned out. And then the other child will say, well, this is how I did it, and this is how it came out. Our magnifying bowl, with the magnifying bowl activity, children are encouraged to bring out things from nature. We have a rock. One of the kids brought in a peach seed, and they dried it out, and it broke in half, and they brought that in. So that is something that with the magnifying glass they can see and observe. A lot of things I like to bring for our tree bark. I bring out a piece of the tree bark that fell and kind of has the grains that go all the way around, and they love that. They love to look into the magnifying glass. Piece of tree branch, rocks, acorns, a lot of little different things, a leaf, it was just the veins. It was a couple of the veins, and kind of had that shown as well. So the children get to participate and bring their own experience, bring their own ideas into the learning zone and share as well. Of course, one of the things we like to do is switch things out. So if somebody found something, well, then we'll implement it in the next month. And children love it because it's always something new to be able to share with the class and one another. Monthly, according to the curriculum, each class has a different theme for the month. So, you guys know that. So we go according to the curriculum for that month. We let the children participate in bringing their ideas. One of our students loves the punch-a-shape. He loves cutting and pasting things. In our punch-a-shape activity, you get the stencil, you draw what the stencil may be, a fish. In this case, it was a fish. He draws the fish, and then you have to follow with a marker and outline. And if you want, you can color the fish. Well, he decided he also not only wanted to color the fish, but he cut it out. And then with the same construction paper, he cut off strips, and he wanted to attach them to the fish. So he wanted to make a hat. In our cutting area, we also do have where they can make a crown. They cut out zigzags in 2 pieces of paper, cut them out to make 4, and they make their crown. Well, he wanted to make his hat out of his punch-a-shape. So I definitely encouraged it. Most of the kids were pretty impressed, and some of the kids wanted to do the same. This is the kinds of things that we like to encourage with the students, to be creative, to use their imagination, and to share, bringing in their self-confidence, bringing in their participation, having the community, and helping one another out by being kind and accepting, the idea. Sometimes some ideas are not accepted. But that is something we do like to encourage for the children to share their ideas. Our student-motivated learning zone brings out this creativity in each of the children. And like I said earlier, it changes the child from being a quiet, non-communicative, to a very expressive, joyous child that when we don't have learning zone, they feel very down. So I am very excited, to be a part of this program that we have here, and hope it's of encouragement to you to bring into your rooms, maybe a small little section, because like I said before, the children come to our learning zone 3 times out of the week. So from their class, I walk them over to my area, to my classroom, and then they go about into starting their work and starting their time in the learning zone area. I show them that, this is what we have new. A lot of the times I find something at the store and bring it in, and I'll show them the next day. And something beautiful that they love is when we get in the group around the table and I show them the project, I show them the activity. They like cutting, and our gluing activities change throughout the month, and that is something that they love. This month, of course, being a snowman. In the month of February, we do a bouquet. So we have a little bear. They glue the bear and glue the different flowers to make a bouquet for their mom or for their dad, with the teddy bear holding them. So these are the kinds of activities that, it brings an engaging time to not only have it here, but also take it home. With our postcard making, they love to be able to share it with grandparents, sisters, and their parents. It's just 5 stickers to whom they're giving it and from who it was made from. And then they get to decorate it with their own little drawings. and that's something that they love being a part of. I also teach Spanish in the afternoons. Learning Zone happens in the morning, starts at 8:30, finishes at 12:15, and then children go into their nap, and then I start Spanish at around 2:35 all the way to 4 o'clock, with each class being 20 minutes. The Spanish goes along with the curriculum as well. We do our color, shape, a concept, a feeling, opposites, and we do music along with it. One of our favorite songs is Mi Cuerpo. Hace música, so my body makes music, and so it integrates, parts of the body, the head, the hands, the feet, your hips, and everything is in Spanish, cabeza, manos, cadera, pies. The children love it. Sometimes they go singing home. A lot of the times they'll get confused and they will call me Miss Ola. It's happened once or twice to where they thought my name was Miss Ola. But it's a joy also to bring that into the classroom to the children so that they can learn the Spanish as well. Speaking of being a part of, it's been a joy to be a part of this virtual learning in our early childhood conference this year, along with the other teachers and my colleagues. It's a joy to know that we can share these learning experiences and to let them grow in your classroom, whether it's in a small little space or in a program as well that you develop in your center. Thank you for this opportunity. It's been a joy, and may the Lord bless you.